With Gina.
The news with Gina Grad.
So something tells me we are going to see a lot more of this, and maybe depending on how this goes. USA Today reports that a Hollywood film company plans to resurrect James Dean, who was killed in a car wreck in 1955, and cast him in a new movie via special effects technology. So Magic City Films announced Wednesday, I do want to hear your opinion, Brian, it has obtained the rights from the Dean's family to cast him in a secondary lead role in a Vietnam-era action drama called Finding Jack. The movie, based on a novel of the same name, will tell the true story about the abandonment of thousands of canine units that were basically just discarded as surplus military equipment after the end of the Vietnam War, and the adventures that ensue when a soldier refuses to leave his best friend behind. That's according to IMDb. So casting of live actors and probably dogs as well for the film is underway, according to a new release from the PR company Falco Inc. And we'll see if there's more of this. His estate signed off on it. We're seeing estates sign off on tours of, Amy Winehouse and holograms, and so now it's going to movies.
I just got back from Vegas, and it's Michael Jackson stuff all over the place, and it's always, Mike always does it. Him dying's the best thing that ever happened to him, and then he laughs real hard, and I was going, okay, Mike. It's always weird when he does that. But here's what I would sign off on as far as actors who died tragically. They can star in a biopic of themselves of what happened that day.
Interesting. Yeah.
I would like to see James Dean reenact that day. He was driving out to, he was going to Buttonwillow. This shouldn't be Willow Springs and Buttonwillow right next to each other. It's the push and pull of tracks. It shouldn't be that close. But he was driving out to Buttonwillow in his 550 Porsche and was hit and crushed and killed.
Is that Salinas?
Yeah, it's like on the way.
It's like way on the 5. I passed Buttonwillow. I used to drive to the Bay Area.
Every time you go on the Grapevine, at some point as you cross that intersection, there's a big...
It's the middle of goddamn nowhere.
Big cutout.
Sorry, Buttonwillow fans.
It's a big plywood cutout of James Dean, like right at that intersection as you go by on the Grapevine if you're going to like Laguna Seca or something.
Yeah, you do wonder how someone like James Dean would feel like this. Is it like, you don't get to tell me what I'm going to do in the afterlife? Or you were a big star then? Do you want to be a big star to a new generation? How does the family come up with that answer?
Wouldn't be surprised if you see actors these days, older actors, Kirk Douglas, whoever, signing contracts or some sort of will, you know what I mean? Like, do not use my likeness. A good movie is, I'm going to, talk about Brad, the gambling expert, talked about the public going one way, so he's going to go the other way to be contrarian. A good movie is a good movie. If this movie's good, I'm down for new technology. I'm always down for, something that's a little bit different. What I'm afraid of is this is a publicity gimmick, and they're trying to turn a dog into something people are going to talk about.
And is the CGI up to the task?
That's the other thing. I think this has more potential with actors who have a huge... James Dean made 4 movies?
This will be his 4th movie.
Yeah, he made 3 movies. How much footage is there to make you're making essentially a CGI James Dean versus, let's say you wanted to make... Well, I just saw The Irishman last night. Like, you can do things with Robert De Niro's face because the guy's got millions of hours of footage.
Did it bump you?
A little bit. Not too bad, though.
Also, I don't trust the ne'er-do-well family members who want a camera check. Like, if I'm dead, Adam joked a lot, but he'd do gay porn. He definitely would do
wanted it that way.
He talked about it.
He talked about it.
He brought it up.
Yeah, I don't see why he wouldn't object to that. Just give me a check. And like Ellen's family be like, she'd do a Burger King spot. I think she would. She didn't eat meat herself, but her character doesn't have to be eating it. They could do an Impossible Burger.
Well, so let me ask you something. So you said that you think people might be signing off like, don't do this. How many actors are now going into green screen rooms and just doing all these monologues
just
of
laying
nothing
down footage
and saying, this is my grandkid's retirement here and sell this later and you guys can use this in whatever movie you want down the road?
The irony is that it's the James Deans of the world and the Hendrixes and the people who died young and didn't have a chance to do Tupac. You know what I mean? Like, that's where the money is. It's not going to be with, I don't know, Kim Kardashian. We have enough Kim Kardashian. We're not going to need her after she dies.
Yeah. So how was The Irishman?
I can baldy with that tomorrow if you want.
Oh, and did you go to the theater?
Did you like it?
I did.
Was it amazing or just?
It's not amazing. There are some amazing moments, and there are some moments of greatness. It is a long fucking
3.5,
movie,
right?
And it felt like, You can't. I hate when people do this. Like, oh, Casino's not as good as Goodfellas, so therefore, it's just he did Goodfellas and he did Casino, and this is a little more of the same. And it's like, all right, he's hitting his sweet spot, and he's doing. There's some good things in there. But
did you go to the Egyptian?
No, at the Landmark on Pico.
But we shouldn't.
It's very good, and it'll probably up for Best Picture.
Okay, but if we walk in with an over the moon expectation, we might get it. It's never good posture to enter a movie.
Correct. You go with an open mind and a empty bladder.
Oh, yeah, right. Oh, I wonder if that app still exists. A million years ago, there was one called Run Pee.
Or Run Pee, yeah.
Yeah, and it would tell you what part of the movie you can go pee for like 2 minutes and you won't miss any plot points. I don't know if
you know who I think came up with that?
Who?
The quarterback and his brother, Carson Palmer and Jordan Palmer.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Proud USC alums.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I played with Jordan, and they came up with that. And I'm like, that's actually a great. I mean,
it's brilliant.
I remember hearing that.
Yeah.
I've used it.
Also, now
my guess is for the Irish band, there are many opportunities to go.
Well,
pee.
speaking of Irish, they're serving beer.
Yeah.
Every theater's now has got something on tap going, and you have a couple of pints as you settle in, and sometimes
Act 3 starts.
It's time to get up. Yeah.
So Jamie Lee Curtis just penned this essay in Variety, and lots of very odd and interesting details have come out. So as most of you, I'm sure, know, her father is Tony Curtis.
Does she describe her penis?
No. They had a unique bond as a father and daughter. A lot of it was over drugs. She penned this essay on sobriety in which she recalls how their shared addiction would bring them together at brief moments. Jamie Lee says, quote, I shared drugs with my dad. I did cocaine and freebased once with my dad. But that was the only time I freebased, and I did that with him. He did end up getting sober for a short period of time, and he was very active in recovery for about 3 years. It didn't last, but he found recovery for a moment. Tony died of a cardiac arrest in 2010 at the age of 85, and she goes into some pretty great detail about drugs with her father.
See, John, you don't necessarily want a dad in your life.
Oh, Brian.
Gosh, that's like the anti of what I want to be. You know what I mean?
Also, he's going to come back and CGI her right in the fucking face.
Sure
like, hey, bitch, shut up.
Sure
I didn't come back for an acting role. I came back to tell you to zip it.
Tell him family secrets.
Jesus Christ.
That's hardcore when you're freebasing with your dad.
Yeah.
It's pretty hardcore.
I know.
Would you have, would you have guessed that about the Lee Curtis relationship?
No. But, every time you scratch anyone's lotto ticket, you just find so much craziness and dysfunction and everything. Like, there's just so much. And somehow, the bigger, the better, the richer, the more dysfunction, the more divorce, the more abuse.
Especially in that era, you had to keep up this image, the squeaky clean image. You were a Hollywood star. And
yeah.
Well, and think about, their name is
Bob
Ryan.
O'Neill.
And Tatum. And I mean, that's just, it's tough times.
It's more of a cliche that's true than it isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's best to be boring. Your kids, you should probably
working on it,
a nice, boring childhood.
That's right. Mm-hmm. So you mentioned Michael Jackson, and another piece of his memorabilia is about to hit the auction block. The glittery white socks, not the glove, the socks that were worn for the first time. He showed off his iconic moonwalk, are part of a collection of items owned by the late Frank DeLeo. He was a former music exec who signed Jackson to Epic Records. The socks were worn during Jackson's performance of Billie Jean in 1983 TV special Motown 25. They come with a letter that Jackson sent to DeLeo proving their authenticity. Do you want to guess what they are expected to fetch, at least?
Well, the socks are weird because they're not the glove.
Not the glove.
They're not the glove.
Are you going to give us an over-under, or are we just shooting?
Just the at least, just the bottom. What they're expected to fetch.
Were we way low last time we tried this? I can't remember.
The time before.
Yeah.
I'm going to say $75,000.
Okay.
$25K each for
Okay.
$50,000.
I'm gonna throw this out there. $250.
Damn.
You are the closest without going over. They are expected to fetch at least $1 million.
No.
We will find out. It's coming right up. No. Well, it's basically next week, so we'll find out and see how close
This is not a good time for Michael Jackson.
That's what I said. No one would be caught dead buying those socks.
Hold on. I know that guy dropped digits on 9-year-olds.
But
he could move.
Oh, yeah. I always forget about that.
So remember, if you can dance, all is forgiven. I know he molested dozens of kids, but that dude could move.
Dance. It's God-given ability.
I'm going to tell my fucking son, you learn how to dance.
You can do
anything to anybody at any time, because no matter what, they'll just finish off with whatever they're saying. I know he was behind the second Armenian genocide, but that dude could move. They'll end every sentence with, but that guy could dance.
Got to give him his props. ABC will show another live recreation of two 70s sitcoms in front of a studio audience. It went really well earlier. They're going to do it again. The week before Christmas, a still unnamed cast will perform a classic holiday episode of All in the Family, followed by an episode of Good Times. The throwback feature was a ratings winner in May. ABC recreated shows from multiple Emmy winner Norman Lear. It was Woody Harrelson and Marisa Tomei. They did Edith and Archie Bunker. Norman Lear, 97, and we had him in not that long ago, and they're going to do it again. But we don't know the cast yet.
I love Norman Lear because he's 97. He still hates his mom. Still hates his mom. He'll still tell you a story about what a bitch and a hag his mom was, which is awesome. Yeah. So I feel like that's going to be me. If I make it to 97, I'll still hate my mom. Number one. Number two, I guess that's Jimmy.
Yeah.
And number three, I went to the party afterward. It wasn't like at Soho House, but it's one of those things. I don't get high a lot, but I got pretty high.
Good for you.
And then it ran into Jamie Foxx, who was just done filming and because they're shooting it live, and he came over there.
It was the valet. It was the valet driver.
He was wearing a blue vest, and he said,
"Had your keys?"
I was like, "Oh my God, that's Jamie Foxx! He's such an amazing performer." And he spotted me, and we're talking, and he kept going, "It's Adam, the legend, the legend." He kept calling me a legend, and I was high, and I was freaking out. It was like the greatest moment of my life.
So who's to say if it really happened?
Yeah, I don't know who said that. I think it was Mike who probably. Oh God, was Mike there? Yeah, Mike must have been there. I can't remember. Anyway,
well, if they're doing it again, they're going to be two great casts for sure.
After parties, that's what I'm looking for.
So you'll tell us about the next one.
Yes.
I wonder if they'll have this at the after party. Alien Cat House. That's a UFO-themed brothel in Nevada. They just brought a sex robot for clients who want to have a sci-fi-inspired sexual romp, and the reason for it is awesome. The brothel's management wouldn't disclose which type of robot they got, but they did say it would have artificial intelligence capabilities and would allow the brothel to cater to customers with fetishes that humans aren't interested in doing. So at this point at the cat house, what is off limits that this robot's going to be subjected to?
First off, Roomba's going to have to up their game, because if they're doing things that are off limits to regular whores, we're going to need a cleanup equally as powerful.
That's true.
Has the computing power as one of the crazy whores you can put in, with double jointed, and we can have nostril sex with, and the kind of stuff that normally
holes don't exist.
They won't let me. I mean, other Dennis Rodman. Damn it, who's that tall guy went there?
Lamar
Odom do.
Right.
That's number one. Number two, it's the oldest profession, but it may be out of work.
I know.
Finally.
You know what I mean? Forget about the automated trucks and the cars. If the world's oldest profession is outsourced to robots, it's over, man.
Old is new again.
That's it.
And guess what? It gets worse. Sex workers at Alien Cat House who spoke to the Daily Star had mixed reactions to the news, which is coupled with the debut of Teledildonics. That is a service for remote
That's my production company. I just patent Teledildonics. Why? Are they stealing my production company name? I had cards printed up.
You're going to have to talk to them, because this is
I got a magnetic sign for the car. Come on.
This is when you're not there, but you still want to have sex.
A silhouette of you typing Teledildonics.
Ripping it out of the typewriter.
Well, there's a guy named Brad Dilford, and then Donick Carey's a funny writer. Used to work for The Simpsons, and I thought Pictures or Teledivision or whatever. Maybe I should have swapped the order, but Teledildonics, I thought, sort of said the future in production. I don't know why everyone laughs every time they honk when they go by my car. Anyway,
it's funny sounding. I think you have to understand that. I mean, I don't think you're laughing at the content of the
guy's last name is Dillard, and then there's Donick Carey. So I don't know how else
what are you not getting?
It's just funny orally. You know what
okay,
I mean?
I don't even know why you're saying oral. All right. So, wow.
Yeah.
All right. So here's what's got to happen. Some Japanese businessman is going to have to take one for the team and have his hog horribly burnt by a battery mishap. You
Right.
know, like
Short circuit.
like when the vape, the sticks start catching on fire at the airport, and they're on the airplane. There's like, we got to ban these things ground them for 3 years until we can get to the bottom of this. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I mean,
because it's moving.
Unless that's what you're shooting for.
Yeah, that could be part of his thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
he likes to roast it.
Yeah. God, yeah. I talked to Will Ferrell for a long time at this part. This is a great actor. Yeah, Wheelhouse is where this thing was.
Where's that? I've never heard of it.
West Hollywood area.
Dude, if you have to ask.
Wheelhouse.
It's a beautiful house that was bought and renovated and turned into kind of like a Soho house, the house.
Cool.
You know what I mean? Like it's got all the accoutrements
like
and everything.
looking, yeah.
But it's there to party.
Yeah. I get it.
Mm-hmm. All right. What else about
Oh,
robots?
I thought you were going to tell us more about the party.
Oh, I can't remember.
All right. So an English teacher at a private school in China's Inner Mongolia region was forced to make a public apology after having bought a fake tuberculosis diagnosis online just so he could take a longer vacation. So here's how that went down. The teacher, identified only as Mr. Du, reportedly paid around what would be $67 for a fake chest x-ray and a doctor's diagnosis, which showed he was suffering from TB. And then he presented the documents to his employers. He hoped it would buy him a couple of extra days on vacation. Only he didn't consider how serious a tuberculosis diagnosis is because it's so contagious and so potentially life-threatening. Mr. Du's whole school was forced to pay for the medical checkups of every one of his students to make sure they hadn't got it. And guess what? 2 of them did have tuberculosis.
This is like one of those sitcoms where the guy's like, I want to stay home from school. So they take the thermometer and they
put it at the lamp.
hold it over the open flame.
Yeah.
And then they go, 113 degrees. You're going to have to be airlifted. And
yes.
Isn't that this?
Exactly.
Bueller.
Exactly.
Bueller.
So basically, then he had to get another fake one to be like, no, I'm clear, I'm fine. It all cleared up on its own. None of the parents of the students believe that because there's scarring after tuberculosis. It takes forever to get rid of it. So they knew he was lying. So he had to apologize, and he did not get his extra vacation days.
All right, let's do one more.
All right. Well, Richard Gere is set to double down on diaper changing duty because his wife is reportedly pregnant for the second time in less than a year. The 70-year-old actor and his 36-year-old wife welcomed son Alexander 8 months ago. And according to Hola magazine, they're ready for round 2. Though they haven't made an official announcement here, they have used the Spanish-based magazine to break the news in the past. Now, they both have other children as well.
What's his wife? What does his wife do?
Alejandra Silva. I would imagine she is very beautiful for a living. That's
it's great.
guess.
Like, it doesn't matter how centered a guy is or how much he likes to hang with the Dalai Lama or free Tibet. He still wants some young pussy at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Isn't that what we all want?
We all do. Yeah. And I just feel like, I don't know, David Spade announces it, and Richard Gere pretends like he's this other guy who's living on a higher level. But, but when the dust settles...
Everybody's on the same page.
Everyone's on the same page, right?
She's a very attractive woman.
Yes, she is.
There she is.
And look, God bless him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keeps him young.
Mazel tov to the young couple.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. It keeps me young. Living with someone who's never heard of a rotary phone keeps me young.
That's right. Young at heart.
Has no idea who the Doobie Brothers are.
Doesn't know what a dial tone is.
Favorite show is Saved by the Bell.
Doesn't know what a dot matrix is.
Keeps me young.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't know the sound of a dial-up.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just announce this really quickly? Because God forbid we don't get to it at some point. We do have some more details on Dolly Parton's Heartstrings. That is an 8-movie anthology on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
It is going to be based on many of her songs. Jolene, If I Had Wings, Down from Dover. I'm a big fan. Two Doors Down, the Old Bones, J.J. Sneed. Never talked about that song. It's quietly a great song. Cracker Jack, great song. Sugar Hill. Fans will be able to see a lot of familiar faces. Julianne Hough and Delta Burke will star in a few of them. It does begin streaming on November 22nd. Everybody get on it.
Wasn't Delta sort of famous for sort of swinging with having the weight swings? Was that her thing?
Yeah. Remember she was on that show, I think it was HBO First and 10? And she was a very slim, like, NFL
she
franchise
was like a
owner.
beauty queen back in the day.
And then Designing Women took a turn at some point.
But she was one of the first ones to get kind of shamed, and then there was a backlash about body image shaming. I mean, that was all like 80s, 90s stuff.
Lightning rod for that.
So it was on the cover like National Enquirer or something, like, look who's been on the weight or whatever. So
right.
One of those kind of
Yeah.
Constant fodder.
I never click on those. You should see what this Baywatch beauty looks like now when you hop on the internet. You ever see that stuff? It makes me feel dirty. Like I'm sure, look, it's, she was 31 and now she's 54. Like I'm guessing she's not the belle, the ball. Maybe she put on a little weight. Why do I have to get down into the dirt and roll around?
I'm with you. People are allowed to age. It's not a punchline.
I disagree.
Brian.
Speaking of which, I saw the same day as The Irishman, Terminator: Dark Fate.
Jesus Christ! Why is everyone's life so much better than mine? You know what I mean? I think about that all the time.
It's for work.
Okay.
Linda Hamilton coming back as Sarah Connor. Yeah, Yep, she was good.
Was the movie?
It wasn't as good as The Irishman.
I got
it's okay.
I got a text from our producer.
It's very okay.
While I was out of town, which was No Safe Spaces. My movie beat the Terminator movie at the theaters it was at. Not nationwide, just at the two theaters they're at on Monday night. It just beat it. And all I could think of is, God, that Terminator's got to suck. All I could think of. I could
That's
never
your
go.
patented self-esteem.
I had to go the other direction and go, something must be wrong with that movie, because if my movie beats it on a Monday night in Denver or in San Diego, there's something wrong with that movie.
I have no idea what the Rotten Tomato score is. Matt, you could probably look it up for Terminator Dark Fate. But
I
I'm
think
guessing
it's like
about
60.
Oh, my. That's not bad.
You know what? I rarely agree with you, because when you say like this movie's getting a woke bump, because a lot of times I think this movie's getting a woke bump.
The woke bump exists. We just have to figure out
which
when
movies
it applies.
I do think it applies here, because this is strong female characters, female protagonist, female protector, female, and it's okay.
Well, I think all movies
it's pretty okay.
Can have a woke bump, or they can take a dip, sort of depending. But it's not like, we do it on this one, we don't do it on that one. They just get a little 10 or 15% push, right? If there's a strong female who's kicking ass at the lead. That's how it works.
But it's definitely not across the board. Like the aforementioned John Wick, that's just a white dude going to other countries and killing massive amounts of people. Those were probably in the 90s. Yeah. Those are really highly rated movies.
Yeah, there's a weird. There is a category that I can't explain, like a John Wick that people just love, and there's cartoon, there's Superman stuff, sort of comic book stuff. But what I'm saying is like. Captain Marvel was like not that good a movie as it pertained to the other ones, and it got, I don't know, it's in the 80s or whatever. The people, it's sort of I don't have any beef. Here's my woke bump. If John Wick is a 91 with the critics and 91 with the people, then he earned it. If I see a movie is like 82 with the critics and 54 with the people, and it's a big, broad movie, then I smell a woke bump. Broad movie.
By the way, if you want to watch a movie that is just fun and hilarious and you will laugh out loud, and it's just a great movie to end a long, stressful day, we finally got around to, because we just forgot, we haven't had any time, to watching the Between Two Ferns movie. It's so funny.
Yeah,
oh my God. I highly recommend it. Just cracking a beer and putting that on at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I think I'm in the credits?
You are in the credits.
Yeah.
You and Malala Yousafzai get confused.
It couldn't have been written down anywhere, right?
These are definitely improv outtakes.
All right, let's see. Do we bring it home?
We'll bring it home. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news. Teledildonics.
Gina Grad. That was the news with Gina Grad.